What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this collaboration project or compilation from Griselda Records, and it is called WWCD. WWCD stands for What Would Sheen Gun Do? And if you're wondering who Griselda Records is, then you must be living under a damn rock, because they are a trio right now made up of Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, and Westside Gunn, although they do have some other affiliates out there who are signed to them and some of the labels underneath them, guys like RJ Payne, for example, who was signed to Black Soprano Family. But, you know, I'm not going to get into all the inner workings of Griselda Records, but they have really been holding shit down. They're coming out of Buffalo, and as far as that traditional grimy gangsta-ass boom bap rap goes, I don't think anyone is doing it better than them right now this year. Although you could put like Bandana up there, of course, because Freddie Gibbs and Madlib did their damn thing. But they have been very consistent, Griselda Records, and with this one, I think they are staying true to that sound and style. So if you're a fan of all these artists, if you're a fan of Griselda Records, I can't see you being let down here, because you are going to get the usual shit that you expect. Most of the bars are revolving around coke, drugs, and guns, maybe a little bit of braggy shit in there, just getting pretty violent, giving you some vivid, dark imagery. And then with the production, most of which is handled by Beat Butcher and Derringer, I think they actually did all the beats this time around, you're getting that usual sound where they're hitting you with those heavy 90s, dirty, dusty boom bap drums, and plenty of spooky and eerie samples where you're getting these strings, keys, and bells. That is the sound that you get on pretty much every Griselda project, and they're coming through with that here. So they are staying in their lane, and I did like a lot of the beats here, but I also wish that there was a little bit more variety, because at times this album does kind of run together. These beats are fine, I like them, but they don't really stick out. Like, I wasn't shocked or, you know, grabbing my face like, oh fuck, these beats are crazy. Didn't get any of that. And the same thing with the content. I mean, there are some clever bars, and I am going to break things down more as we get into this review, but just to sort of preface everything here, I think it really is kind of the run-of-the-mill shit you've been getting from Griselda Records. They drop a lot of projects as well, so if you've been listening to everything, it might kind of feel like overkill at some times. Same type of shit you're getting here, but it's all done very well. So this sounds like I'm being negative. I'm not. I'm just kind of saying that they're staying in their lane and not straying from it. So you're not going to get much in the way of concepts here or interesting song approaches or even storytelling. I think these are things that would have really helped the songwriting and, you know, just as far as making more of a lasting impression and making the track stick out. But even still, man, I really enjoyed listening to this project because they have so much damn chemistry. You're going to hear it all over this one, especially on Chef Dreds, where Conway makes it clear that they are in the upper echelon of hard rappers. On this one, they're all just going back and forth with the bars, and this works really well because they each have a distinct style. You got Westside Gunn, who's got that screechy voice, comes through with the crazy ad-libs and humor. He even has a song on here called Kennedy where he's just crooning about blowing your fucking face off. Not really a song you'd come back to and listen, I don't think, but it was funny. And Conway the Machine, he really just comes through with some great bars once in a while, man. I think he's great when it comes to spitting that street shit, although I do think Benny steals the show on this project, man. Benny continues to show that he is one of the best new artists, in my opinion, because he usually does get a bit more vivid with his storytelling, and he's got plenty of great bars on here. For another example of the chemistry I'm talking about, just to go back to that right quick, you can check the song Scotty's, where Conway and Gunn go back and forth, and then we got Benny the Butcher sealing the track on the final verse. That just kind of shows you that when he holds it down himself, he really does stick out from the crowd, in my opinion. But we're going to scroll down here and get into some of the features before I do break down some more of my favorite bars. So you got Raekwon on the intro. Don't get too excited about that like I was, because all he's doing is talking. He's just showing love to Griselda, which is too bad because I think that album, The Wild, he dropped was really slept on. Super dope project, and I'm ready for more Raekwon, but even still, it was cool to have him on there. And while 50 Cent doesn't give his best performance on City on the Map, I thought he fit in perfectly with Griselda, man. When 50 came out, we all know he was on that grimy gangsta gutter shit, and he sounds right at home on this sample-based production going in with Griselda Records. So I thought that was a pretty cool choice, and I think this collaboration could work really well in the future. On the flip side, we have Eminem on Bang. You probably heard this song. It's been floating around for a while now. And I thought his verse just really didn't fit because everyone else is coming through with that more straightforward, grimy, and gritty style. These are words I'm going to say a lot. Grimy, gritty, dusty, dreary, gutter. That just describes Griselda Records perfectly. But then you got Eminem on here coming through with that flow where he stops and goes. Did you never know but no? I'm not like Pinocchio. I wish I was pink like a flamingo. actually has a bar on here about wanting to be pink like a flamingo. So he's, you know, he's got these wacky flows and wacky bars that just seem out of place on this album and on this song. But he did have one part on here that I thought was interesting. He actually raps about how in the early 2000s he played pool with Ja Rule and they almost squashed their beef. Just a kind of fun tidbit to think about, because imagine if that actually happened, how different the state of the rap game would be. You know, we wouldn't have had all these beefs keep going on in the early 2000s. Maybe things wouldn't have been so bad between 50 and Ja. Who knows? But I thought that was one of the more interesting moments from Eminem on that song. Probably the most interesting feature though has got to be Novel on the song The Old Groove, and I'm assuming that this is the same Novel who in the early 2000s came out sounding a little bit like D'Angelo with that song Peach. Still like that track. I went back and revisited it because I completely forgot about Novel till I saw him featured here. Again, I think it's the same one. I don't know if there's another Novel, but the reason I'm wondering is because I haven't heard a Novel forever since that song pretty much. So, you know, I'm guessing it is the same guy because he is on here coming through with a blend of rapping and singing. He's doing it on the beat once it switches over to this more soulful sound. The first half is kind of grimy as you would expect and as usual from Griselda Records. So I did think this song was one of the standouts because it's one of the only moments where you are getting a very drastic tone switch in the album. A lot of the album kind of runs flat. It's the same sound, which is a good thing because it's consistent. It's what you want from Griselda Records. It's cohesive, but it would be nice to have a little bit more variety with the sound here, with the production, the features, da-da-da-da-da. So that's why this song stuck out to me and was one of my favorites, because as I was listening through, I was like, okay, this is a little different, man. This doesn't sound like the usual shit they do. So I really like that. And now we're going to get back to what I was saying, just very briefly, about how I think Benny was stealing the show on here with his bars. This review's kind of all over the place, but fuck it, man. Sometimes that's how it is, because so many albums come out, I got to review the shit. Sometimes my opinions are a little bit scattered, but I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to get my points across regardless. So I really like Benny's flow on Cruiserweight Coke. That was one of my favorite flows on the album. He had this very bouncy style. And on Freddie HotSpot, he spits, I run in the club, bump into plugs, I fell on a brick. Only Tom Brady get more rings than my telephone get. That was a pretty clever sports bar, and Conway matches him when he spits, one shot, one kill when my dog clipped him, scored on them niggas with one bullet. That's Rod Strickland. That's a great line, man, because I think Rod Strickland has always been one of the most underrated point guards in the league. He was doing his thing back in the day. I always liked watching him play. A lot of point guards coming up today, including Kyrie Irving, show Rod Strickland love for helping them craft their game. So it was cool to see him get that love here on this album, and he played for the Washington Bullets. So that was a pretty cool line too, basically just saying he scored on them with one bullet, kind of like when Rod Strickland was doing all the work back in the day. So that was dope. And this song, Freddie HotSpot, actually had one of my favorite beats on the album as well. It has these underlying strings on it. You're getting these spooky keys over top. So that was really great. And, you know, this was a hard one to review. I am going to go with a very light 3.5 out of 5 here. I almost went with a 3 because I wasn't really blown away too many times. But at the same time, the more I listen to it, the more I like it because they're holding it down. They're giving us the sound that we want from Griselda Records. I think all three of them show that chemistry that, you know, that just really proves that they can do well as a group when they come together like this, bringing their own unique styles. But again, man, I think more attention to detail would have made this much better. Like, this could be a 3 and I wouldn't even argue against it. I'm just going to go with a 3.5 because I do think it's better than some of the 3s I gave out recently. It's not loaded with filler. It is kind of short and to the point and cohesive, so that works in its favor as well. But I just wish the bars got a little bit more intricate, you know? Like, that's why Benny's projects always work for me, because he does have that imagery. He does tell stories. He gets very vivid. You're not getting too much of that here. You are getting some clever bars and nice flows and fun moments. I'm not saying like it's bad or anything, but that's one thing I think could have been better. That, and also the production being a little bit more versatile, man, or having the beats switch up a bit more, having some more layers and sounds. Seems like the beats are pretty safe here and kind of flat at times. So there you have it, man, a very light 3.5 out of 5. But you guys hit me up in the comment section with your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff, man, where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.